Hey guys, it's Angelo, and as patch 7.1.5 is coming closer every day, and the Nighthawk release therefore obviously is very close as well, and Legion offering a lot of fun and engaging content, many times have I wondered how Blizzard could possibly top what they have presented with this expansion thus far. There is obviously so much more to experience in the Warcraft universe, and today we will take a look at some places and settings that a future expansion could take place in. From the Great Sea and a human civilization we have not encountered thus far, to more of the old gods and to the vastness of space, we will cover the potential settings we could find ourselves in one day. If you do enjoy this video, please leave a like and be sure to follow me on any social media outlets to stay up to date on my video releases. That being said, my friends, let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, Kultiras and the Great Sea is our first one up. This setting has been speculated about for a very long time, and it was actually assumed that Legion would take us here, as Blizzard had trademarked the Eye of Azshara name a few months before Legion's reveal at Gamescom in Cologne in 2015. An expansion at sea is actually something that a lot of people have been hoping for, and it would make perfect sense for the future, really. Even though Queen Azshara has appeared in Legion, I highly doubt that she will appear as a killable boss this expansion. Her storyline is really just way too large and way too detailed for her to share the spotlight with the Legion, and perhaps even meet her demise in one meager patch. On top of that, Blizzard could bring multiple new story aspects into the game with this. Zandalar, the ancient troll capital, and the story that comes with it, and what actually happened to it, as well as more troll story in general. The setting would also make more room for human storyline, as Jaina Proudmoore is originally from Kultiras, and there is an entire human population here we have barely touched on in the last 11 years. Now, I wouldn't want to go as far as to say that Blizzard could use this expansion to implement boats or anything to like, or perhaps even more ship gameplay in general, apart from just, using them to get from one continent to another, but all in all, this setting could offer a load of promising content for the future. The setting could also tie in directly with the next one on my list, which is the return of the old gods. Now, this is something I myself, and certainly many other players, are waiting for. Throughout World of Warcraft, we have extensively touched on the old gods over and over. Remember, we fought Cthulhu back in Vanilla, Yogg-Saron in Wrath of the Lich King, and even had quite a bit of old god influence in Cataclysm. We fought against the remnants of Y'Shaarj in Pandaria, but ever since then, the old god presence has dimmed down a little, if not even vanished. From Warcraft Chronicles, we know where the old gods come from and who had sent them to Azeroth and why. We also know that both Cthulhu and Y'Shaarj are dead, however this leaves us with Yogg-Saron and N'Zoth, who are not only debatably the two strongest old gods, but are both still very alive and very active. Well, not so much active right now, but you know what I mean. Now, we don't know much about N'Zoth apart from his low-key presence in Cataclysm in Vashj'ir, and from being the driving force behind Deathwing's madness, but what we do know from Chronicles is that he is probably the strongest old god of them all, or at least was during the age of the Black Empire. We could possibly see a return to ruins of the Black Empire, more underwater content like Vashj'ir, or just more sea content in general, or even crazier stuff like outer space influences. Remember, the old gods are sent by the Void Lords, and they could very well just say that they want to take care of Azeroth themselves, having already lost two of the old gods they had sent to corrupt the planet. If Blizzard feels like it, a setting like this could potentially be used to justify reshaping the planet again, which of course is something we haven't seen on a major scale since the events of Cataclysm, which is now over 6 years ago actually. Now, this next setting is one that can only be speculated about really, which is the other side of Azeroth. There is next to no knowledge as to what lies on the other side of the planet, if there is even anything. Chris Metzen, former senior vice president of Blizzard, has had this question thrown at him at a Q&A panel a few years ago, but obviously didn't go into detail, as the idea of what could lie on the other side of Azeroth is one that the developers could potentially expand upon in the future. Literally, Adding the other side of the planet to the story's relevance could double the amount of lore and story we have in the, lore and universe. Maybe there's more old gods on the planet that we don't even know about. Maybe there's a variety of completely new races and civilizations on the other side. Or maybe there is some kind of mysterious force that prevents us from venturing there. Who knows? There have been ships sent towards the other side of AZEROTH from the east side of the Eastern Kingdoms and from the west of Kalimdor, but none have returned ever since. This would also be great, or rather a great way to bring World of Warcraft back to its roots, as we essentially start from zero again. Then again, after fighting an enemy that has spaceships, being able to create portals to different worlds, and being able to fly across the planet, starting from zero isn't truly realistic, unfortunately. Next up, we have the Return of the Titans. Now, as we already know from Warcraft Chronicles, the Titans have in fact been killed by their former brother-in-arms, Sargeras. We also know that they were able to send their spirits through space, all the way to AZEROTH, where their essences now lie within the Titan Keepers, unbeknownst to them, us, Sargeras, or anyone in the universe. Could we potentially see these Titan spirits restored to their former glory in an expansion? Well, maybe actually. There are a few factors that speak for it actually. First off, we know that Sargeras is pretty angry at us for defying him for the past 11 years. We also know that we alone certainly will not stop him, it being so powerful that he is able to split planets in half, literally, with a single swing of his sword. And no, Khadgar, you won't be OP enough to save us this time, like you did in Tanaan Jungle. Defeating Sargeras could also mean that we would need to somehow awaken her, as Magni Bronzebeard calls the Titan that slumbers in AZEROTH. She is actually called AZEROTH herself as well, which could give more room for awesome and crazy Titan lore. Last but not least, we have the Nether. Potentially, we could be visiting other planets in the Nether throughout the future of World of Warcraft. Now, the Nether is a pretty big and basically endless place. I mean, it's literally space. We have already seen parts of it throughout our quests in Legion, or the Demon Hunter starting zone, to highlight some examples here of course. However, there are many more planets, some of them even story relevant, to explore. Argus, the main base of the Legion for example, as well as Karesh, the home planet of the Ethereals, Nathrazah, the home planet of the Nathrazim, and so many more that we still did not even touch on. Visiting these would be incredibly interesting and would offer so many new story aspects to players. We could finally find out more about the demonic races that form the Burning Legion, could learn more about the past of the Eridar, or could even learn if there are any stronger beings out there than the Void Lords themselves. And that is a wrap, guys. Those are the 5 locations I feel as if we could be going to next. All of these places are incredibly interesting and full of story, and I have almost no doubt that we will be seeing or at least touching on some of these in the future. Some of these settings will also allow us to come to a conclusion with storylines that are already existing or ongoing within the game, like that of Queen Ashara's, while others allow us to expand upon existing content like the troll and human lore. Now, thank you so much for watching as always, and if you have enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Be sure to let me know in the comments below what you think of these speculations and ideas, and which setting you would like to see in a future expansion, or if you simply agree with my thoughts. Now have a good one, my friends, and I will see you all in the next one.
A lifetime in repeat.